Hit record. We should be recording now.
I'm Milo, 21, from London. I'm currently doing philosophy and Japanese at Manchester. Brass.
Correct.
Ricky Gervais.
Correct.
The strongest link is Milo, as he was the only player to bank money for the team.
Sheet.
Correct.
Asbo.
Correct.
Oh, fuck.
Board.
It didn't record,
Correct.
Waters.
No water. So, Milo, what sort of lawyer are you going to be?
I think he'd have something to do with intellectual property or copyright.
Oh, not a judge.
Well, ideally, it'd be nice to be a High Court judge, but... Wolf.
Correct.
6.
Correct.
Manganese.
Correct.
Gods.
Correct.
I.
Correct.
Great Ormond Street.
Correct. Milo.
Milo. James.
James, why Milo?
Because he's younger than me, better looking, and he's wearing our curtains.
Milo, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm incredibly annoyed that I got voted out, like, at such a late stage. James's reason for voting me off was that I was younger than him, which is true, that I'm better looking than him, which is also true, and I'm wearing his curtains, which clearly isn't.
So refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself why would I make time for you lames? At all costs, 'cause I'm a boss. But break 'em off, yeah, gotta break 'em
Oh,
off.
fuck. It didn't record,
Boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Prime Time with Alex Stein. I am your host.
Well, not all ages.
We are live.
Not all ages. I mean, I would strongly advise.
Yeah, not all ages.
If you are the parent of children under 18, I would strongly advise you put them to bed.
Yes, do not actually turn this off.
Not,
Yes.
not all ages. Not all ages, because I may be liable to say, well, all sorts of things. That is some deep law. That is some deep law. I've got a CD-ROM of that at home. I've got a CD-ROM of The Weakest Link. You know the most annoying thing is if you're the smart person of The Weakest Link, they will vote you off. You'll be the anti-penultimate person to be voted off, which means the one before the end.
And that's what that's on all reality shows. If you're in the top 3 and you're
if you're the anti-penultimate evictee, it means you were the smart one that the last 2 were afraid of and that they didn't want to go up against. And these 2, I'm still cross about it.
I know, because they didn't give you credit for Waters. You said Waters and it was water. That's bullshit.
I'm still cross about it.
Very
Oh,
smart.
fuck,
You've
it
got
didn't
every
record,
answer right.
I always do.
I know. I mean, every answer.
When have I ever been wrong? When have I ever been wrong? Nobody can. No such cases. No such cases.
Milo, you're a legend. The one, the only Milo Yiannopoulos. Thank you for being here, all the way in the Lone Star State. Can we give it up for the legend himself?
It's awful. What a dreadful place this is. What a terrible place. I'm here.
Why is Texas so bad? Why? Because it's just for fat people? Because it's McDonald's? And
It's for
Walmart
fat people and gays, and especially fat gays.
No.
No, it is. I mean, Steers and Quiz doesn't even cover the half of it. Texas is a place for badly dressed, overweight, homosexual neocons. And I'm here broadcasting from.
We dress bad.
And you know that because I'm here broadcasting from the Blaze. And so listen, this is everything about.
This is dress bad. This is the new style, dude.
Listen, I knew that the set dressing of this show was dreary, but I had no idea how bad it was until I got here.
They say it looks like a.
My God.
They say it's like a pornography.
Like everything else to do with your career,
fuck, it
it
didn't
is
record,
phoned
right?
in.
Milo, I don't want to hear that, Milo.
In.
I don't want to hear that.
Phoned
I'm not
in.
Nick.
No, but
I'm not Lauren Loomer.
I adore you, but you've been one of the great disappointments of my life.
Why is that? How am I the disappointment, man?
You were the future once, my darling, and you see, look.
Why? Because I'm too goofy? What do you mean I'm not the future?
No, you're really one of those people that sort of was trying to be famous for so long, and then you had a little taste of it, and you just threw it away. By not,
what do you
by
mean?
Not,
Wait, explain this,
Fine.
Milo.
Let me explain.
How did I throw it away? I'm the pimp on a blimp.
I explain it with
Charlie Kirk.
I don't know what that means. Nobody knows what that means. I explain it through the medium of the text messages I had with your producer.
Please, my producer sucks. You know, I hate my producer. He went to Princeton. He's an idiot.
And whose fault is that?
I know, I should have hired him. Look at his face, he sucks. No, my producer is an idiot.
And do you recall the conversation?
You don't judge me on my producer. Jimmy, tell Milo how much I hate you.
Who am I supposed to judge if not you?
Jimmy he went to Princeton. I thought he was qualified. All right. He lied.
Princeton.
He did.
Princeton.
He graduated.
All that means is he's good at masturbation.
Oh,
he is
fuck.
good. He was a virgin until he got married. Yeah, what did...
Oh, I doubt. Not about Princeton.
Yes, he was.
Maybe a vaginal virgin.
Okay, well...
excuse me. Any man who's been to Princeton, excuse me, I'm sorry. No, look, listen. Let me tell my grievances. I want to tell my grievances.
Yes, grievances.
And look, I was late for this show. I was late for the show, partly because I was buying this outfit, because I wanted to, I wanted to do the text. And I was also late for this show. Can I have my shopping, please?
Yes, please. Bring me
my, just Tony, please.
Hurry,
Thanks,
Tony. Lego.
I was also late for the show because I was buying Lego just in case it got boring. So look, I got the Lego Notre Dame. Notre-Dame de Paris.
Time out, Milo. You went and just bought a complete Lego set of Notre Dame?
No, on the way here, in case you were boring, and you already are. So look, I bought the Lego Notre Dame because I just worried about it not kind of captivating my entire interest, So look, I'm going to start it, and I'll stop. I'll stop when we get interesting. But look, the point is this. Let me say about these text messages. It's just look. Let me read this text message. Okay, look. When you have a guest like Milo Yiannopoulos, somebody who has been, this is, by the way, my first time allowed on the Blaze ever.
Congratulations.
No, I'm not congratulating anybody. No. In 10 years of being insulted by Glenn Beck, who has the IQ of...
Glenn Beck's smart, he's a genius.
He has the IQ of a lump of cheese.
That's correct.
Look, in 10 years of being insulted by Glenn Beck, I've never been allowed on his network to defend myself. And look, let me just give it... I don't accept very many interview invitations these days.
That's true.
I don't. And the reason is because I find the low effort that goes into performing the shows insulting. And I'm going to give you an example of that. Okay. Look, so
Jimmy does low effort.
Here's where I go. Well, I didn't even hear from Jimmy. I didn't even know who Jimmy was until now. So I'm invited on this network, and I'm not going to be too mean because I've got another 2 shows to go this week.
We have more shows to do.
Sarah Gonzalez,
one of my best friends,
and of course, and somebody else that I don't know, but
James Paulus.
Yes. No, I do know him. I know him from Twitter. No, look. So I sort of get this. And look, I'm going to read you.
Read it.
What I got as the briefing for the show, and then I'm going to read you the bio that I sent.
Gosh, I'm
give you a sort of just an indication of the difference of the effort level. Okay. So what I got was this. I got good morning. Topics for interview are as follows, just so you're in the know. 1, identity. Where have you landed and why? Why is identity such an obsession today? What's the end game? Tolerance, war, Christianity. I mean, it's just
That's for James's show. That's not for my show.
Yeah, well, nobody told me.
That has nothing to do with
Nobody told me. Nobody told me this is what I got.
Let me get into the show, Milo. We've talked about this. Okay, what else? Can we get into the show? Because I want you to build a damn Lego set.
Okay, well, I'm going to get to it in a minute. Look, and here's what I wrote back. I said, can you have a bio? And I said, yes, of course. I'll send you a bio.
Oh,
so here's what I wrote as a bio. Okay.
Make sure to hit the like button.
Milo Yiannopoulos. His every conceivable professional aspiration achieved by the age of 33, and his legacy as undefeated champion of campus and television battlefields eternally guaranteed. In 2017, Milo Yiannopoulos retired. Milo was the most influential and prolific writer and activist of his generation throughout a short but dazzling career in which he prayed for but was never granted a leftist of equal talents to play with. Nicknamed the pop star of hate, this is what you should be doing. Nicknamed the pop star of hate by jealous fatties in the media, he was banned from entire continents for his unapologetic commitment to the sound of his own voice. But it was a voice worth hearing. I wrote this. Architect, chronicler, and simultaneously paladin prince heartthrob of countless era-defining public clashes, Milo saw around corners of what was coming next and peered into his enemies' souls to fathom their weaknesses. There's a lot more coming, so just settle in.
This is good. Okay, keep going.
Milo conjured daddy for Donald Trump, neatly capturing our national yearning. Apropos of nothing, he wondered aloud, would you rather your child had feminism or cancer? In headlines, he asked coquettishly whether birth control made women unattractive and crazy. That last one earned him a dramatic reading from a theatrically wounded Hillary Clinton. When he was not predicting the future, Milo was writing it, shaping it in his own image. Well, I tried. It was Milo who expertly... Well, I'm known for my modesty. In fact, I'm brilliant at being modest. I might be the best at being...
You might be the most modest person.
I might be the most modest person I know. It was Milo who expertly ushered 𝐇𝐚𝐫𝐝 into mainstream discourse, leaving feminism with a bloody nose just in time for the election. Milo single-handedly and overnight ended the campus rape culture hysteria and the gender pay gap mythology with thunderous victories over grizzling opponents. His first book, Dangerous, and we're going. Of course, thanks for mentioning. By the way, I'm on a book tour. Thanks for that. Thanks,
You are, but we're going to get into the book.
we're getting. Well,
Before we get into the book tour, time out, Milo. This is my show. Hold on. Give me the Legos. Give me the damn Legos. Now, put the sodomy clock on. Put the sodomy clock on.
Oh,
I don't give a damn. Dude, you saw Michelle Obama's drinking Pinot Grigio while it burns. Okay, so this is your sodomy clock. Milo, just listen to me.
I'm not done with my introduction.
Listen to me.
You can't start until I've done my introduction. How can you do a show until I finish my introduction? Let me finish the introduction. Sorry, I've lost my place now.
I know. I've lost my place.
Okay, listen, I've got to finish my introduction before we can do the show.
Right.
His first book, Dangerous, sold 250,000 copies. That's not my first book.
This is your best book.
It might be. While the author was blacklisted by every publication in America, here it's the hardback.
Show it on Milo.
The hardback's more expensive.
Okay,
here,
the hardback.
Okay. Milo writes strictly for his own amusement. These days, he ghostwrites best-selling autobiographies for the few media personalities who can afford his monstrous fees and sustain his interest, of course. You've most likely read one of his hobby projects and not known it. Under his own name and those of his appreciative clients, Milo's sold over 3 million books since 2016. But he's not counting. You can't open it, by the way, because people have got to know. People have got to buy it. Anyway, I'll skip to the end.
Please, for the love of God.
Peerless icon of the modern political milieu, Milo's championship of title of troll-in-chief remains unthreatened even now, after half a decade of unrelenting imitation. He doesn't care either way, because Milo sauntered into premature and absurd retirement as a New York Times best-selling author, an award-winning reporter, an international cultural and political phenomenon, a free speech martyr, an accomplished serial entrepreneur, a hair icon, and, at least behind closed doors, a penitent. Inspired to give back, this is the last paragraph, right? Inspired to give back after a lifetime of privilege and unfair genetic advantage. Milo's opening a conversion therapy clinic for people with same-sex.
Wait, you talk about that. We were going to send you to Serenity Springs. We looked up, this is a premier gay luxury conversion therapy facility where healing meets unparalleled comfort, nestled in a tranquil, serene environment.
It sounds quite gay.
I know it's gay as hell, but it's going to turn you straight. We provide a holistic approach.
No, I don't want to go there.
It's Serenity Springs.
Milo's opening for other men play. Well, I'm opening my own. I'm opening the Milo. Why would I go there when I can go to the Milo clinic?
Milo clinic.
If other men plays into a world that cannot be done, and launching a range of ex-gay products, he is dauntless. He's undeterred. This is the last paragraph. His prior achievements. This is the last paragraph. I skipped so much of it. His prior achievements. This is the level of thought I put into an appearance when I come on the media. You know, I wrote this for you. His prior achievements. I thought he was going to read it out.
No,
his prior achievements and accolades are meaningless compared to the challenge and responsibility for him. Miley was chief executive of Yeezy under Kanye West for 2 years, and now runs Tarantula, a talent management and strategic consulting firm for icons, artists, geniuses, and heads of state. You can't afford him. So that was my bio, and that's and look, I just want to put that in relief. Look at the negative space around it, the notes I got. I felt disappointed. Anyway, I'm here to promote my new book, The Wit and Wisdom of Nicholas J. Fuentes. 500 pages of all of the most brilliant things that Nick Fuentes has ever said, including all of his best jokes. It includes a snappy notebook. And the paperback edition also, late edition to the paperback edition. I just want to let you know that if you've already purchased this for Christmas, and it is a lovely stocking filler, it is. If you've already purchased this, you can pick up the paperback considerably cheaper. I don't make as much money on it, so probably buy this one. But buy the paperback because it does have an edition, and it's called As Stephen Gently Throbbed, the cock-gobbling confessions of Nicholas J. Fuentes, and it's an appendix related to what's been happening recently with that particular unfortunate individual.
You're talking about Nick. Okay, but you're really mad at Nick right now. But why?
No, I'm not. No, I'm heartbroken by Nicholas because
because you just said he's not funny. You have to admit, whether you like Nick or not, you have to admit this, Milo. Nick Fuentes, and I have to clip this, is funny.
Out of the two of you, he's funny, yes. But
oh my gosh, Milo, come on, give me a break. Okay,
your problem is you're lazy. You don't do the work. You're lazy. You don't do the work. You had everything.
What work don't I do?
You have had everything put out for you on a platter.
What are you talking about?
And every time I see you show up, it's like you're phoning it in.
Show it to what?
I mean, look, the first show that I saw with Gavin McGuinness, we had to tell people to get off their phones. Well, people aren't even off their phones at home now, are they? I mean, 20,000.
They're watching it on their phone.
20,000 views last night. I mean, I get more views than that farting on Twitter.
Well, our YouTube page has some issues, but our clips are going very viral.
Because there was an unfortunate incident, wasn't there, with taking over Elijah Schaffer. I mean,
that was a bad
of all the people to want to follow in the footsteps of Elijah Schaffer. shaffer. I mean, good lord.
Basically, that was the wrong move.
Who has ever wanted to inherit anything from Elijah Schaffer except maybe the HPV virus? So look, I just, I'm not a great groper of breasts. I'm not. But if I did want to, I would go to Elijah Schaffer. You probably know about this here, don't you? So why is there money on the table?
That's not real money.
They think I'm so cheap. They think I'll shut up if I just shut up.
No, I want you to keep talking.
Your fee is there. Anyway, so look, no, I've got, look, where's my, I can't believe.
Who likes you more?
I cannot believe that you kicked the
because you're not going to play Legos. We only got you for a short amount of time, Milo. We got a lot
I'm going to play Legos if it gets boring.
We have a lot to cover today, okay? First of all, let's not get boring. Why do you hate Nick Fuentes and why do you call him a homosexual?
I call him homosexual because he is a homosexual. I don't hate Nick Fuentes. I'm wounded by Nick Fuentes because, like you, Nick Fuentes was somebody who was supposed to carry on my legacy and follow in my footsteps. And, like he was fallen short. And, Nick is the great, sort of one of the great disappointments of my life in a way, because I tried for 2 years to make him great and to provide him with everything he needed to have a real career. And unfortunately, Nicholas decided to lean in. So, as is probably obvious by now, Nick Fuentes is somebody who is led by his impulses. So his decisions are made for him by rage and envy, and they are cemented in place by pride. So he'll make a bad decision on a whim and then stick to it because of pride, And this is somebody who, there's no strategic intelligence. He's just somebody who's being ruled by egomania and rage. And I tried to, for many years, tried to persuade him that perhaps tempering his natural shortcomings and
getting be less anti-Semitic or what?
Well, no, I don't care about the anti-Semitism. Yeah. I'm talking about his ability to construct a successful career and to build and maintain working relationships. I don't care how anti-Semitic somebody is. I mean, the whole country under 19 is riotously and violently anti-Semitic. That might be the best. That might be the best approach if you're looking from a purely market opportunity standpoint, okay? It's not maybe a position that I hold. Perhaps I have some sympathies with certain bits of it. It's not a position that I hold in its entirety. But if you were looking today at what's going to make 18-year-olds excited, it's going to be anti-Jews. So I don't blame him for that. What I blame him for is not being able to sustain and maintain relationships, and in particular, those relationships with people who've done the most for him. So I'm not mad at Nick Fuentes, but I have spent a lot of my time, I mean, look, as somebody who's...
You're mad at Nick Fuentes. You're making a book like
No, this is a tribute. This is a tribute. Look,
I know, but you're mad at
look at the beautiful cursive text on the complete wit and wisdom of Nicholas J. Fuentes. Just look at how beautiful. But by his lovingly compiled by his mentor and role model, Milo Yiannopoulos. Just think
Milo,
the level of affection.
Level of
affection. I don't know what that means.
You know what that means.
Do you understand
what that means?
Do you understand that I have been banned from everything for 8 years? I don't even know.
Back now.
I don't even know what engagement farming means.
Well, I mean, you would have a troll book like that, and then Nick does have a large following, whether you say he's successful or not. He has a big following, so he knows, and a lot of haters, but a lot of supporters. So I'm saying when you do that,
well, not so much anymore.
You don't think that? I mean, I'm not even. Now it sounds like I'm just defending him blankly. I'm just saying.
It does.
I don't think Nick
it does, and it's not a good look.
Well, I know, and I'm not even trying to necessarily.
Please tell me more reasons why Nick Fuentes is right and I'm wrong.
No, I'm not calling you wrong, but I'm saying you and Nick were friends. He was like your protege. I just
for a while he was. For what many people could have been and didn't take me up on the offer. But there are lots of things that could have happened. But unfortunately, Nick had everything and threw it all away.
It sounds like you guys had a breakup. Have you ever had a sexual relationship with Nick?
No, never had a sexual relationship, but it did feel a little bit like that because a real relationship between a mentor, no, I'm not kidding, but a real relationship between a mentor and a mentee is an emotional relationship. It's more than a friendship. It's not a sexual relationship. It's not a romantic relationship, but it's more than a regular relationship because you're putting yourself on the line for that person. I mean, when I was banned from everything and everybody just dropped me and pretended I didn't exist and wouldn't take my calls unless I was working for Marjorie Taylor Greene, it was very hurtful for me. And it was very difficult. I mean, 3 people had my back. 3 people in the world gave a shit enough to still be friends and check in and call me and stuff. It was very difficult. And now I'm on the way back in. I've remembered what happened, and I've taken notes. And everybody's going to get exactly what they deserve from me, because when just 3 people have your back out of and there's a corner of the media industry in which this show exists that I invented 10 years ago. And so it's very hurtful. It's very difficult. And when you have a mentee like Nick Fuentes with so much potential. I mean, he's so naturally funny and
now he's
brilliant.
Funny. A second ago, he's never written a funny joke.
Well, I said he had potential. You know, when he had potential and he was naturally funny, all the rest of it. I think I don't find him funny anymore. I find him thin and mean. And reedy. You know, like, it's a difference between, let's say, you listen to late Billie Holiday, Lady in Satin, that wonderful album where she's almost dead. She's drinking vodka, and she's I'm a fool to want you. And all the whole life is in there. It's so rich. And then you listen to thin, reedy, unsatisfying vocals of a Beyonce who can do the you know. Sorry, it wasn't quite on key, was it? No. It's called melisma.
Oh, fuck,
you know, and I find Nick now to be bitter and thin and reedy and unsatisfying. I don't find him to be particularly funny or interesting anymore. But look, your question was it hurtful? And yes, of course it's hurtful because you like all of Nick's professional successes were gifts from me, and I now carry with me the responsibility and the weight of having made him. And so, you know, as a father to all these things.
Come on, Milo, give me a break. Listen, and now I'm trying to defend Nick. He's the one that has to hit live. He's the one that has to do hours.
Nobody will really understand.
Yeah, I don't understand
the horror of waking up at 3 a.m. and realizing you're responsible for both Nick Fuentes and Lady 𝘳𝐺𝐴. And so, I mean, it's enough to make you want to reach for a knife, you know.
Wait, you don't like Lady 𝘳𝐺𝐴 now? You had a falling out with Lady 𝘳𝐺𝐴?
Oh, I got to play the clips.
No.
Do you have producers live? Can you do things?
Jimmy, pull it up.
On my Twitter, you will find, and it's only about 5 or 6 tweets back, there are 2 clips in one tweet from Lady 𝘳𝐺𝐴 of when Lady 𝘳𝐺𝐴 discovered that I said that he would be the first to hang. And if I knew that what I started was going to lead to, well, anyway, I'll let him say. Find those 2 clips. They're great.
You got to find the Lady 𝘳𝐺𝐴 clip.
So understanding, you know, that you are responsible for both of these 2 sorts of people is a great weight. It's a great responsibility. You know, you don't have the responsibility of cultural progeny. So you know, I do feel a responsibility, and Nick has hurt me and he's wounded me, and I feel no shame whatsoever in saying so, and I feel absolutely no embarrassment whatsoever in saying that this is somebody that has left a scar and left a dent on me, because, you know, I put myself out there. I introduced him to everybody in conservative media. I gave him money and everything, and it turned out to be for nothing. It turned out to be for an ugly and wretched person. So of course that hurts. It was like, you know, it's the closest thing as a recovering homosexual, somebody who hopes one day to have children of my own with stepchildren from my previous, you know, demon wedding or whatever it was.
The black dude. Isn't that crazy? You married a black dude? What was that?
Oh, fuck!
Negroes, can you believe it? So it's more surprising that it was a black person than a man, frankly.
All the British people always want to marry a black dude. Why is that? You know, they love black people in Great Britain.
I think British girls are more sharks. I do think
they love black dudes. Are you kidding? They all want a soccer player.
We are. Yeah. I got to tell you.
There you go. Milo the mud shark.
We are. But it's interesting. As I've got into women, I have discovered, to my horror, because I'm very racist. I don't mind whites, I don't mind blacks, I don't mind Asians. I mean, who cares? But it's Latinos, it's Hispanics.
No, you're not talking about big booty Latinos.
I can't abide. But I've discovered, as I've looked at the women that I find interesting, that I've got a bit of a thing for Latinas.
Yeah.
I do.
How did you not have a thing for this AOC?
Oh, stop it.
Look at that.
Oh, stop it.
Look
stop
at that,
it.
Milo. Does that get you? Is your blood flowing?
AOC is like your only good bit. Like, can we move on from AOC?
She's about to run
How many years ago was that?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It lasts forever. You see that?
No, can we move on from AOC, please? You've got to have another joke.
She's about to run for president.
We got to get another. We got to get another new joke. We got to get another joke.
Okay, anyway, listen, Milo. What's your last joke? Going on Tim Pool. What is your last joke, Milo?
Well, I'm in the business of retribution these days.
You are in the business of retribution.
And I have been, and whilst not being back for very long, I have been collecting scalps. And some of the scalps that I've collected recently, including Nick Fuentes, who I pretty much knocked off his pedestal, and he's now on a kind of death spiral, was, as everybody knows.
Have you ever done smelling salts?
Is that poppers?
Oh, kinda.
No, I'm not doing that.
You know, it hurts.
I'm not doing that. Was of course Laura Loomer, who is the most insane person, and I was, you know, there was.
You were good friends with Laura too.
Well, no, I was not good friends with Laura. I was loose allies with Laura until I met her, and then when I met her properly and spent time with her, I realized she was absolutely fucking mental. I distanced myself very quickly. Well, I distanced myself because she used to force herself on young male volunteers, 20, 21 years old. And she would go in the middle of the night. And I mean, some men will find this to be quite titillating. Although,
yeah, this sounds kind of good.
When you imagine sort of the face of the the Saw doll. You know, just sort of like you pull up the covers and there's the Saw doll. I would like to play a game. It's less enticing, but she would climb into bed with these volunteers and suck them off in the middle of the night. Sorry to use that language, but I did tell you to put your children to bed.
No way. She wouldn't go and sexually assault random guys and just blow them.
Well, I'm telling you because I lived in the pool house with her victim in 2020. Who didn't know how to make it stop. He was a young Brazilian volunteer on her 2020 congressional campaign. I know because I helped to run that campaign, okay? So don't tell me you don't believe it, I was there. She was creeping into bed with him and she convinced herself that they were in love. And he was coming to me every day saying, how do I make this stop?
You say, bitch, get off me. I mean, that didn't seem that hard. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that, but this is a young guy who's, you know, I never really understood when people talked about power dynamics in rape before. I was like, okay, fine, either you want the sex or you don't, or whatever. But I kind of got it when this young man, which surprised me greatly, said, well, this was Laura Loomer. I didn't know how to say no. I said, what do you mean it's Laura Loomer? He said, well, she's like Laura Loomer. And I said, what does that mean? He's like, well, she might be a congresswoman. Like, I don't know if it's okay to like. And so I realized in that moment, especially because it was a man, which was so sort of peculiar and confusing to me. It was bizarre to me, but he meant it, and he was asking me how to make it stop. And although I think it's ridiculous, I think it's absolutely ridiculous for people to talk about women raping men per se. There was no element of consent involved in what she was doing, and she actually
allegedly. This is all alleged for the legal team. This is all alleged.
This is of course alleged.
Well, this is in Minecraft.
I'm giving you my personal testimony as her communications director, so you can take my view of it as you like. And if you want to sue anybody, sue me. I invite you warmly to sue me. In fact, I beg you to sue me. Don't sue him. He doesn't know anything about it.
Don't sue me, Laura.
Sue the Blaze. Sue the Blaze, but sue them about something else.
Do not sue the Blaze.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. What would you sue them for? Don't sue the Blaze. Don't sue him. But sue me if you want to sue anybody, because discovery will be marvelous. And look, the point is this: when we confronted her, Laura, about what she'd been doing with this volunteer, she locked herself, barricaded herself in her bedroom, called Roger Stone, and said that she'd been driving past Lowe's thinking about buying rope. And this was 8 days out from her congressional election.
So she hadn't lost yet. She had not lost.
8 days out from her election. What she was doing was barricading herself in her room and not attending events she was booked to attend because she'd been confronted about sexually assaulting a volunteer on her campaign. And just to give you an illustration, just an insight into the kind of person that Laura Loomer is, the founder and CEO of Home Depot had maxed out her campaign. So even considering death, she couldn't even be loyal to the people who'd been loyal to her. And she was talking about driving past Lowe's instead to buy rope.
But you know how I know you're lying? Because Jewish girls don't get BJs.
Well, she's not Jewish.
What do you mean?
She's not Jewish. You can go onto my Twitter and you can find video from 2020 of Laura Loomer practicing how to draw a Star of David because she's not fucking Jewish. The reason she didn't marry the guy she was dating from InfoWars is because he found out she wasn't Jewish. She's not really Jewish. She made it up in 2017. And the guy that was there when she did, his name was Paul Bazile. He's a video producer, and you can find his video testimony also on my Twitter. He was there the day that Laura Loomer just decided to be Jewish one day because she wanted to be rude about Muslims. She'd asked the organizers of a conference whether she could burn a Quran on stage, and they said, no, you have to give a speech. And so she ordered a Star of David necklace from Amazon, which Paul Bazile, her video producer, took out of the plastic packet and put on her as she proceeded to go up on stage and announce to the world that she was Jewish. She wasn't Jewish. She's never been Jewish. But she lent into it. Her parents
aren't Jewish. Nothing. She has no Judaism.
So her Judaism is matrilineal. Her mother is a British Christian.
Okay.
Her dad is does have some Jewish ancestry, okay? But she's never been to temple. She's never been received into Judaism. She didn't know the difference, and this is the anecdote that I always tell, which, you know, there's a million people on her campaign that can verify this. When she went out to go to speak to the Republican Jewish Coalition, the Republican of Palm Beach, right? The Palm Beach Jewish, whatever it's called. She picked up the speech that I had written for her, and on the cover of the folder, she drew what she imagined was a Star of David. It was, in fact, a pentagram. Yeah. And I had to explain, I had to explain to her the difference between a 5 and a 6-pointed star. And then you will see the footage immediately afterwards, which is on my Twitter at the moment, is her saying, please don't show anybody this. I don't want them to know. I don't know how to do this. Of her practicing how to draw a Star of David. And I had to explain to her, you draw a triangle and then an upside down triangle. Okay, love? And she had to practice how to draw a Star of David immediately before she gave a speech to Jews where she was telling rich Palm Beach Jews that she was one of them. She lost all of her donors and couldn't raise the same kind of money in 2022 precisely because they found out she wasn't really Jewish. And so, you know, so I'm not really in the business of being terribly funny anymore, although of course I am, and laughs aplenty, you know, on Tim Paul at least. But I am in the business of making sure that justice is done, because I'm now in a different business. You know, I'm not customer facing anymore, as we say in industry. You know, I'm not really a media figure anymore, and I have no desire to return to be one because it's a terrible job with no money and an absolutely miserable life, shackled to a set you hate, surrounded by staff you despise, with guests who just come on and talk shit about you. You know, it's a pretty awful business to be in. So you know, I now run a talent management agency where I look after other stars and try to sort of shepherd them through. Well, I do still rep Ye and Bianca actually. But
so you do? So you're still with Kanye?
I don't run his business anymore, but my agency.
Because you were his right-hand man. I'm just saying you were
for
running.
For 2 years I ran Yeezy. Now my agency does rep Ye and Bianca, so we do PR for them.
Is Kanye a clone?
You know, when we got to clone 11, and people began, they started to notice. You know, the shape started to get a bit off. And
his shape has changed a little.
The thing about clones is it's a bit like photocopies of photocopies. You can't clone from the original DNA. You have to clone from the clone. So when we got to 11, around like 2022, people started to notice, you know? So we tried to go back to the original. The thing is, he actually died in that car accident like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's when they first did the first one. I wasn't around for that. But I was around for, also the other problem is with the clones is when you do the photocopy, they don't live as long. They don't last. So now we're in a situation where like we have to refresh them every 6 weeks. You know, and so every 6 weeks it just sort of looks different, acts different, the music's different, different, and so it's very difficult to manage. It's very difficult.
It is different. When is the last?
Very difficult to manage.
Kanye is one of the greatest artists in the last 30 years, but he hasn't had a huge hit, has he, in the last few years?
Well, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Ye, as the artist is now known, had a #1 album and the #1 single a year and a half ago. So Carnival was the single.
No, first of all, Milo, this is why you're being intellectually dishonest. He's had a song as good as Gold Digger, as popular as Gold Digger.
I'm not.
When Gold Digger was on the radio, you couldn't turn it on without. I'm a gold digger. I ain't messing with no broke.
What you asked, just say niggers. What you asked was, has he had a hit record? And yes, he had a record. He had a record that went #1 in over 50 countries. And okay, or you can fake all that.
You think he's as good?
And he had an album, and I know because I launched the album for Vultures Volume 1, which went to #1 in 111 countries within 24 hours. So stop it. Just because you don't listen to that kind of hip hop doesn't mean he hasn't had a hit.
I do listen to that type of hip hop.
I'm sorry for your taste. I don't know what to tell you, but he had a #1 album and a #1 record in the last 18 months.
The Inwards in Paris, as big a song as that?
No, but who has? Nobody. It's one of the great songs of our lifetime.
I agree. It is one of the best songs ever.
Okay, but it's a ridiculous demand to say that an artist who's in a different chapter of his creativity, an artist who's in a different. So you don't think that he's hooked
on Galaxy Gas a little bit, and you don't think that's affecting him? Nitrous oxide killing brain cells?
Well, nobody knows more about that than me, but I'm not going to talk about that in a frivolous context.
That's what I'm saying. It's very bad. No, I know exactly how strong that stuff is, but we don't have to get into it. But
no, I'll just say this: that I was very pleased and proud to have been able to get that person out of his orbit, and that person has now lost their dental license.
That dentist did lose his license.
Yes, thanks to me. And that person is now out of circulation and is no longer swarming around African American celebrities. That particular dentist was, at least I think, in there with cartels and using his dental practice as a money laundering kind of facility. So now he's no longer of any use to the cartel. I don't think he'll make it to jail, which I'm not terribly upset about.
Wow.
Hey, we've had a lot of super chats. Let me just get them real from the same guy.
We don't have to read them all. We only have Milo for a second.
Well,
read the big
Kevin Hoon says Milo fight Jake Paul and that you're his favorite.
Oh, you know,
you are everybody's favorite.
I've been thinking for a while about getting fit, because the one Milo era that hasn't happened yet is the jacked era. What do we think?
Should I get on the TRT and everything?
No, I don't need that. I've got very high testosterone. But what do you think? Should I get jacked?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Should I get jacked? Your producer was like, absolutely.
You should get jacked up. You should take steroids.
Why do I need steroids?
Just to cheat.
Make
it easier. Why not?
Well, that does explain. Why you are where you are.
Yeah.
So look,
listen, I love shortcuts. You think I want to take a long cut? No, I want to get right there.
You see, it's doing the hard work that separates legends from icons. And people can be legends, and you have become a legend. But there's only one icon, in the last couple of years, and that's because I do the work. It's because I put the work in, and there's still time for you, but the window is closing, and so the difference really between someone who's a legend and somebody who's simply an intergenerational icon. I can't walk down the street in any foreign city without somebody asking me for an autograph. There are video games being made today in Korea that have blonde, froofy characters called Milo in them. That's just the level of impact I've had globally. To reach that level. I never have to work again. I never have to get out of bed, and I will make millions of dollars a year from bed for the rest of my life. And to get to that kind of stage, you have to put the work in. You have to do the work.
You have been doing this for a long time. I'm not going to debate you on that.
And it was disappointing to me that and I'm going to say this personally as a friend. I've known you for a long time, and
since we met when you started working with Marjorie. That's the first time.
And I've written to you about this stuff, and you've kind of dropped it every time, and you've never really followed up on it.
When did you write me?
And for over the course of the last few years, and I was very surprised and very disappointed not to hear from you in the run-up to doing this show, and not even to hear from your producer about what we might talk about.
Were they not messaging you?
I messaged whoever the contact was about what we were talking about.
No. But
because I don't bug celebrities.
Give me a break. We know each other.
I know
we know each other.
I guess
and don't you think it's peculiar that me coming in your show, you didn't even text me to say I'm excited that you're coming on the show, and I come in here and it's all sort of whatever, business as usual. And I just think that I know you. I've known you for years, and it was weird to me that you didn't text me. It was weird to me that there was no preparation done for this show, and that's what I'm talking about. That's sort of something I see.
What should we have prepared? What do you mean? What should we have prepared? How many times have they showed that interview?
Okay, you got one good clip. That's great, and it was funny. It was funny, and it was good.
And it was funny, and it was good.
But that's not going to carry a 2-hour show.
It's a 1-hour show.
Out of who knows? I don't watch it. Nobody does. But out of desperation, I had to go to Lego in the airport just to try to have something funny.
Lego bit. Let's move on.
No, but I just felt personally let down, disappointed because
all I can say is that I am sorry, Milo.
No, it's okay. But it's okay. But I just don't do that. God, you're so clammy. You're clammy. Oh God, he's
hot, Milo. Just let me come over here, Milo.
This suit was cut by Hawks of Savile Row. Look, he's so clammy.
I'm clammy.
Big people are wet. They're damp. They're damp. No, big. It's true what they say about big people. They're damp. They're damp.
Listen, Milo. I just recently I went to a chiropractor we filmed there, and.
Why have you got a chiropractor? How old are you?
I'm having heart issues as well.
How old are you? It's because you're fat, isn't it?
Part of it.
But why are you fat? Why aren't you hungry?
Because I have a beautiful blonde lady that I'm not out there seeking women.
Well, I'll talk to her afterwards, and I shall ensure
she doesn't mind that I'm fat. See, this is the thing is, I don't want to be
you see, what you don't understand is, no woman is going to tell you what makes her inspired or excited about you. She's going to indulge things, and she's going to lose interest in you because women are always penetration testing. They're always going to push things to see how far they can get with you and what they can get you to agree to and what they can get you to whatever. And if you turn into a big, puffy, tub of lard whose career is stagnating, eventually she's just going to cheat and leave you for someone else. But what they really want is somebody who says no, who sets parameters, who has discipline, aspiration, and somebody who they can admire, and somebody who, even if they don't always agree with, and they don't always like even, they at least respect. And they know that person is acting in the right general interest of the household and is going to take them in the right direction. I mean, you're not even married, are you?
Fuck.
It's been years, hasn't it? It's been years, hasn't it? Well, you see, as somebody with no skin in the game, I'm able to analyze women
you think that
objectively.
Makes it easier to analyze it?
Absolutely, because I don't want the tits.
Have you ever? Gold Star gay, Milo? Are you Gold Star gay?
No. I had 3 girlfriends. They're all dead now.
No, they all killed themselves?
Well. Only one of them killed themselves. Overdose, car accident, and suicide.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite bit of a vibe killer, that isn't it?
Just overdosing like that?
Well, I mean, I liked emo girls when I was younger, so I liked girls that were kind of living on the edge. So yeah, I mean, obviously, of course, they all ended up dead. But no, I mean, I'm just saying, being able to sort of analyze women without being distracted by desire, I think has given me, yes, a little bit of insight into this. So she's going to be off looking at some new upstart blaze, maybe 𝐇𝐚𝐫𝐝. All right. Or some new blaze upstart. How many years have you been together? Still no proposal.
2 years.
2 years, no proposal. That's not good, is it?
For her.
I'm sure she's loving this now.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm afraid to get married. I'm nervous of commitment. You know, my parents went through a divorce. It was a very tough thing for me to go through.
Can't even stick to a diet. I mean, I get it. But
Milo, like you're skinny. What do you think?
No, I ballooned. I'm enormous.
I'm
enormous.
You're a fat cow too.
I'm an enormous cow, but I'm not on television. So look, I'm just.
You do have a point with that.
Look, I am now. You see, I'm now what you would call a kingpin. I'm a grandee. I now sit in cigar-smoked rooms. Oh, so this chair is very exciting. Ooh.
I think you can lay back.
Ooh, I'm not the first.
Fully go back.
I'm not the first to recline here, I'm sure.
No.
Look, I now exist in cigar smoking rooms, and make decisions for other people. So I sort of corralling the careers of others, so I can get as fat as I want. And indeed, I have.
Oh fuck!
But no, I pictured you years ago as what I always wanted to be, and was not able to do because my legs were cut off from me in 2017 over bullshit. I pictured you.
Well, you got canceled.
I pictured you.
Gay men normally.
Because some true thing about homosexuals. Yeah. That all fags are pedophiles or something like that.
Allegedly.
Excuse me. The Blaze Legal Department would like me to let you know that is a personal opinion and not an objective statement of fact about sexuality, even though it is. Allegedly. Allegedly. Sorry, what was I talking about?
I don't even know. We've gotten off the wire about what you envisioned for me.
Oh yeah, no. I wanted you to do what I was never able to do.
You still do it?
I wanted you to be our Bill Maher.
Well, it's not easy to be.
All right.
Well, it is easy to be Bill Maher because he's fucking doped up half the time. His audience laughs at literally anything. And all he's got is a couple of good writers and good selection of guests. And his show grew slowly, but it grew. But there's a trajectory gap happening, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted you to be our Bill Maher, and you still could, but for fuck's sake, pull yourself together.
Okay, I have to pull myself together. I got to lose 40 pounds.
Because this show is unwatchable. I mean, I've tried to watch some of them, and it's just awful. And I want you to be as great as I know you can be.
Well, this is Jimmy's fault. It's not my fault. It's always my producer's fault. I'm the talent, and if I didn't have such incompetent producers, I would be much more successful.
Wow.
Isn't that right, Jimmy? Tell him.
100%. I agree.
See, I shouldn't have hired.
You see, I make a lot of sacrifices in my life, and I've probably sacrificed a friendship tonight, but I've done it for a reason. I'm
not mad. You haven't lost me as a friend. I don't care. I don't mind being criticized.
Well, you don't listen either way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, you nailed it. I'm not even going to remember half this shit. I'm on, literally, I'm on mescaline right now. Have you ever popped, what's the hardest drug you've ever had? DMT or acid?
Success. You might get there one
No,
day.
I haven't. Honestly, though, come on. What is, Milo, because they say you like to party. Do you like to party? We've never
They say I like to party. I don't understand why they say I like to party. I don't leave the fucking house.
Is that true?
Tony knows.
Tony doesn't really party.
I don't leave the house.
I always hear
Look, my friend
say Milo parties.
No, everybody says this, but no one's ever seen it.
So you never do a Diddy party, or would you have gone?
Well, I didn't say that. I'm not saying I never do anything. But it was a very long time ago. No, my buddy over here visited me in LA, and I live at home with cats, and
I have cats too.
I work 20 hours a day at home. I don't go out. I don't party. I don't know why people think I do. I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, I see Margaret Thatcher slept 4 hours a day, and I try to do the same thing. I try to sleep 4 hours a day, and I think I do a good job of staying busy, and I'm much happier than I ever was before.
You are happy right now?
I am. And I'm making a lot more money than I ever did before. I'm much happier. I would say, well, let me put it like this. I'm more content than I was when I was chasing before. Because it's very, very good being famous, but I didn't enjoy it. You know?
That is true because it is very, it's like
it's horrible.
You're on the spinning wheel.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible.
And you have ups and downs.
And I did formats like this, and I just couldn't keep it. I didn't like it, and I felt chained to this beast, that just kind of. But the thing to do in that situation is to switch up the format, is to do something different, is to take it to a new place, to a different place, and to go. You know, I see you as somebody who, if you had a room of intelligent writers. Who could, you know, like bolster the material, just have a little bit of prep, bolster the material. I mean, you even kind of like, you're recalling real time a little bit with the backdrops here, you know? Like there's even kind of a feel to it there, but you're just not delivering on the promise. And I feel like if you had, you know, a couple of intelligent writers and you did a monologue and you had a couple of guests and you got your one lead guest and all the rest of it, just intelligence and complexity. I mean, you could have everything. You could have everything I never did. You could have everything that all of us wanted to. All right. And you're positioned to do it because you're somebody who has been given everything on a silver platter where the rest of us had to fight for it.
Fuck,
you know,
That's fair.
you were catapulted to success, and within a couple of years, having told one joke in your entire career, you were opening for Tucker Carlson. You had everything that the rest of us never did. You know, and I want to see you soar.
Well, Tucker likes me.
I want to see you. Well, I want to.
You don't like Tucker? You cannot.
No, I
talk
adore
about
Tucker.
Yeah,
I adore Tucker.
No Tucker blasphemy on this show.
You will hear none from me.
Please, thank
you. You will hear none from me. I was cringing at. Never mind. You've had everything, and I want to see you soar because in you now, and you're probably the only one left. In you now is the promise that we all had and we all had taken away from us. I mean, think about everybody who got cancelled. I mean, they've all gone fucking crazy. I mean, I've turned into whatever the hell this is, some sort of retribution machine. Right? All I want to do is just, you know, is to sort of like set people right and get. Oh, thanks, Jess. The Wit and Wisdom of 𝐸𝐵𝐴 𝕽𝐴 is lovingly compiled over a decade by his role model, mentor, and inspiration, Milo Yiannopoulos. This book is an exhaustive intellectual history of the America First movement. It's wit and wisdom eloquently expressed in the words of its founder, 𝐸𝐵𝐴 𝕽𝐴. In these 500 pages, you will find everything great, funny, insightful, and amusing that Nick Fuentes, thank you for that graphic, I can just about make that out on screen, everything good that Nick Fuentes ever said, and all of his best jokes. It's a perfect gift for the groyper in your life. Available now on Amazon. The complete wit and wisdom of 𝐸𝐵𝐴 𝕽𝐴 will be treasured by families for years to come. Thanks for bringing that up. Yes, it's on Amazon now. It's available. You know, somebody on Amazon was watching this. I got off TimCast.
No, forget about TimCast. I want to ask you something because I want to see how you navigate this. Milo, you and I are friends, but we also are connected on a different wavelength through geocentrism and heliocentrism, in that we are globe skeptics, flat Earth.
Yes. Sphere theory.
Sphere theory.
We're not sure about sphere theory. The globe hypothesis.
And Nick is also a flat earther.
No, Nick.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's not.
He's talked to me about it 100%.
No,
Nick
he's
is
not.
a flat earther.
Do you really imagine in your wildest dreams that any position that Nick says he holds is a result of actual sincere reason or a particular position he really does hold, or just shabby opportunism of the moment? I mean,
I think he's watched Eric Dubé, and I think he's on it.
You're more intelligent than that. Give me a break.
Why would he lie about that? Because you know
the real friends we have in common are the Grosses.
John Gross.
Yeah. They're the real friends we have in common.
John is my best friend. I mean, he's done so much for me.
What does he say about your career?
Well, he wants me to do a lot of other stuff. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that.
Does he have similar things to say that I do?
Similar, yes. And I was thinking about.
And do you listen to him? You don't, do you? You haven't.
I don't really listen to much, but this is the thing.
Do you think you might after tonight?
I might, but what about this idea? I want to do.
I'm going to talk to your girlfriend.
Okay, but listen, Milo, I only have you for a second. What if I did a documentary, because Matt Walsh does What Is a Woman? What if I do What Is a Jew? And then I have John Gross, my rabbi, and then the guy that baptized.
He's your rabbi now.
Well, he was a rabbi. John used to be a rabbi.
Yes, I know. He was chief rabbi of Nebraska. You just described him as your rabbi. You're not Jewish.
He's my rabbi. Well, but he's my, you know what I mean? It's like you're your pastor. I don't practice.
No, I don't know what it means. I have a spiritual director who's Catholic because I'm Catholic.
Okay, well, I think you can have. Michael Jackson had a rabbi. He wasn't Jewish, and I'm like Michael Jackson. You know, Michael Jackson was innocent. You know,
you are like Michael Jackson in so many ways.
I am. And Michael Jackson was not
taken from us too soon.
Michael Jackson, he was killed.
Disappointment by the end.
You know, he was not a pedophile.
No, he was not. But he did start speaking up about the people in the music industry who were nickel and diming him financially. And almost immediately afterwards, audio was leaked of him being disobliging about that particular minority. And then suddenly he was dead.
Okay, we got to talk about this. Everybody talks about this guy. He's an open cuckold. Destiny has had his. You're laughing so much. So Destiny is on tape.
I'm sorry.
Performing fellatio.
On 𝐸𝐵𝐴 𝕽𝐴.
No, that's not.
Listen, I paid $50,000 for that video. It's Nick Fuentes.
You paid for that video? Shut up! You're trolling. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Wait, you're kidding me.
This is horrible. This is
put that
horrible.
on. Put
this
it
is
on.
horrible. Yeah, I paid Destiny. I said, give me something that looks like Nick Fuentes.
No, you did not! He's trolling. How can we fact check this? You're Jimmy. Clip that. You're on the internet.
Got it.
Milo said that he paid Destiny $50,000 for a video of him blowing a dude that looks like Nick Fuentes.
I just said pick the one that looks the most like Nick.
I've only seen the screen grab.
Listen,
We're all going to jail.
Listen, an established fact is merely something that most people have heard and most people think might be true. And so all you need to do is get the footage out there, and after the first couple of hundred TikToks, it's a fact.
Well, but isn't that
Like I told you, I'm in the politics
you're
of...
better than that.
Oh, I'm fucking not. I'm fucking not. Have you met me? You've been listening tonight? I'm fucking not.
But you want a guy to go get...
This is 10 years. 10 years I have been banned from this building, this ugly Protestant building.
This is not an ugly building. It was actually every episode
The Christmas
of Boring.
decorations in this building are the ugliest Christmas decorations I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, there are some Jehovah's Witnesses here, and we don't want to offend them.
God, yeah, we do. We do want to do that. And whatever the things you believe are ridiculous, stupid and ridiculous. Your children are going to hate you. They're going to die if they follow what you say. Stop it. You're stupid. Grow the fuck up. And since I've now told you to look into the eternal truths of Holy Mother Church, the Roman Catholic Church, if you don't, and you don't become Catholic, you go to hell.
Okay, back to Judaism. What I was going to say is I have John Gross.
Jehovah's Witnesses, give me a break.
They don't celebrate Christmas.
They don't celebrate at all. Yeah. Listen. They're like Orthodox Christians. It's like Catholics for people who don't wash and don't like to smile. No, look, if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you're just a ridiculous person. A ridiculous person whose bloodline is damned. Your offspring will not survive the winter. And you should be ashamed of yourself. And similarly, with it's not a religion. It's not a religion. The thing to understand about Jehovah's Witnesses, like Mormonism and like Christian Science, is they're called new religious movements. They emerged in the late 1800s in America. They're specifically American phenomena, and they're not really branches of Christianity. They are what we call new religious movements. They're cults that emerged in the late 1800s in America as a result of various social pressures. And so any of these movements, so Christian Science was supported for many years by one rich Hollywood actress who was just bonkers. Same with Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormonism. They're not real religions. And so you don't need to treat them with any respect or seriousness because they're not worthy of respect or seriousness. They're absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous nonsense. And you should be ashamed of yourself. And your kids are probably going to end up dead.
We support your job.
And even if they live, they'll hate you. They'll be dead or they'll live and they'll hate you. And they should hate you because you're ridiculous.
Oh, fuck, it didn't record.
Speaking of that, Milo, I know that you've had some family issues too over your
Sorry, I feel very strongly about these things because these people kill their kids. They kill their fucking kids. They kill their kids in no worse, no better, no different a fashion than the tranny people kill their kids. They kill their kids through lunatic ideology that prevents their child from getting the health care or the treatment or the comfort or the prayer that they need. No fucking different. These people who will not let their kids have blood transfusions or not let their kids get certain medical treatments are no different to people who have their kids' cocks cut off out of some other crazy boneheaded idea that some kid who's having gay ideas is really supposed to be a woman. Which, by the way, there's no transsexuals. There's just single moms with gay kids who want to get off the hook, right? And so it's like, oh, well, if my kid's actually supposed to be a woman, then I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't turn my kid gay. He's got a disease that put his brain in the wrong body. No, you just got a gay son. Deal with it. You fucked up. You're a terrible parent. All right. This is exactly the same. The transgender ideology and these ludicrous new religious movements that murder their children and dare to do so worse than the trans ideology. Dare to do so in the name of Christ. Fuck the lot of them.
Milo, you've had a lot of family issues lately with your mother. I lost my mother.
Yes.
I know it's a very challenging thing. Can you give us any updates on your
Well,
family?
she's where she belongs. My dad too. So I was eating in a restaurant with my dad once, and this is not a very good knife, but Spirit. Ooh.
Yeah, no, don't do that. It's a great airline. They're bankrupt. We're trying to support them.
It's not a great airline. I don't know what this is,
It's
but
ivermectin, horse paste.
Oh, I self-administered ivermectin.
I have do some right now. I think there's some.
No, I'm not doing it. But no, I was eating in a restaurant with my dad, and this is the first time I realised he was a bad dude. I was eating in a restaurant with my dad like this, and there was the power went out, and this is the knife, okay, and he just, without missing a beat, just went. Oh, I fucked it up. All right. Without missing a beat, he just went. I was like, who is this man?
Oh, he's gonna stab you?
No, like he was ready to like slash inside because he thought the power had gone out because an assailant had come to assassinate.
Oh, he thought you guys were getting assassinated.
Yeah, because my dad was an organised crime scene. So he's just eating and the power goes out and my dad just goes.
Well, that's pretty dark.
Isn't it dark? Isn't it crazy? I know I was telling you that. Oh yeah, so he's there and she's there. No, I'm better off without them really.
I know it hurts, Milo.
I did my mourning for my childhood and for my parents a long time ago. And so when they left, it was a relief, honestly.
Wow.
It was a relief because my childhood was so bloody awful. I mean, I was this, there's me sort of like with my stepdad who is like beating the shit out of me and I'm screaming to my mother, like begging her to make it stop. And she's just like, looking
Your stepdad beats you up?
Yeah, like, she's looking at me like
She's
looking at me like I had it coming, and I'm just.
Did your stepdad really beat you up?
Yeah, of course. I went to school with black guys all the time. So
that's horrible.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, fuck.
But what with my dad being a killer and my stepdad beating me up, no wonder I ended up a faggot. It's just like, well, if that's what being a man is, I think I'll be something else. No, I'm trying.
That's pretty deep, though.
Yeah, so I'm trying now to kind of like reclaim. No, let me rephrase it. I'm trying now to forge some kind of relationship with my manhood that is not based on violence, because the only real understanding that I have of masculinity, of manhood, of being a man, is based on violence. Like,
yeah, but you're on a violent campaign right now of retribution. So you're doing all the bad things that you're just preaching against.
Only figurative. Like, the only thing really suffering is my keyboard.
But just like your stepdad beat you up, you're the stepdad beating up Nick. It's no different. You're the stepdad beating up Laura Loomer.
And my stepdad did think I had it coming. You might be right. Cycle of abuse, you see. Cycle of abuse.
It really is.
Cycle of abuse. Well, but Nick better pray I die soon, but I don't count on it.
Can we mend the fences with Nick a little bit?
Absolutely fucking not.
He's got me canceled for himself.
Absolutely fucking not.
Are
you crazy?
Nick, but I
mend the fences with Nick Fuentes. What's the matter with you? Mend the fences with Nick Fuentes.
We've lost about 6 microphones this year. So.
Make it 8. Mend the fences with Nick Fuentes?
Well, I'm saying you should mend the fences with all your enemies, even if you don't like them. Because
no, I'm going to grind them into the dirt until they scream for agony at my feet.
Milo.
Sorry, that sounded a bit gay, didn't it?
Milo.
No. The people who have betrayed. Listen, let me
say this.
No, let me tell you something.
Heart is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Do I seem hateful? I'm the happiest guy you know. I'm the happiest guy you know. I am brimming. I'm brimming with the joy of the incarnation. I am. I can't stop smiling. I smile all day, every day. And the reason that I smile, is that justice is supposed to feel good, and it fucking does. Because look, I was watching for those 8 years when I was banned from everything, when everybody went dark on me, and nobody would return my calls. There's somebody out there whose name that you all know, who I lent 6 figures of money to, every dollar that I could lay my hands on in a hurry, so that he could realize a lifelong dream of his. Somebody whose career I made, and somebody who I thought was a close friend. And it was a week before I got cancelled. And that person has never returned my calls since and not paid me $1 back. My friends just decided that I died. When I got cancelled in 2017, everybody in the industry and the people who had been close friends of mine, who had been to my birthdays, to my home for Christmas, they just decided I was dead. And there will be a reckoning for that, for all of them. So I don't really have friends. I have people I haven't got around to yet. And that's not a friendly person. And it's not. You want to have friends. I do want to have friends, but I'm going to have friends, and I do have friends outside of media and politics, because the people in media and politics have a reckoning coming. And as anybody who's been watching the last couple of months has been able to observe, heads have begun to roll.
They have.
And they will continue to roll because you don't understand this. This hasn't happened to you. My friends just decided I died.
And actually, to be honest, my high school
people that I loved, people who had met my family, people I had lent huge amounts of money to, people I'd been on holiday with, people I'd shared my birthday with, people I had told about my childhood. They just decided I was dead.
We did break the mic. If you
want. Sorry about that.
Don't worry. But this is the thing.
They just did. I make my notes.
I broke mine.
They just decided I was dead.
I had a friend that whose
and
wife
yet that cannot just stand.
Well, let me just tell you my stories real quick.
Vengeance is Milo's, as it says in the good book.
Well, Milo, but I had a best friend, and then his wife didn't like me. He had me as a groomsman at his wedding, and then uninvited me as a groomsman, so I decided not to go to the wedding, had a big knockout, drag-out argument, and now I'm still not friends with the guy. And it bugs me every day that I'm not friends with him because of that.
It's not being friends.
Oh,
okay, let me tell you
fuck, it
something.
didn't record, right?
In the ancient world, in ancient Greece, ancient Rome, okay? And Socrates was given this option. I heard this on another show.
They were all gay in ancient Rome,
Be quiet. I heard this on another show, irrelevant nonsense. I heard this on another show, I can't remember where I'm stealing this from, but I looked it up and it's true. People were given the option of suicide or exile because they were considered the same thing. To be removed from polite society, to be removed as a citizen was considered equivalent to death. Okay, when a particularly noxious or terrible or cruel Roman emperor died, something that we now call damnatio in memoriae was done to them, which means their names would be chipped off buildings, their busts would be smashed, and they would be completely erased from history. But the difference between those niggas and me is I had to live to see it. I was around to watch. They were fucking dead.
All right.
But I had to watch it happen. And didn't just watch it happen. I watched my friends do it. I watched my friends go along with it. I watched my friends with the fucking chisels. All right? People that I loved were with the chisels, dutifully carving my names off buildings and pretending I never existed. Okay? So no, I'm not going to give it up. I have many, look, I live in a loving household. I have a nice life with friends outside of this world. But in media and politics, a whirlwind is fucking coming. A whirlwind is coming. And you know who you are. Because I might have been banned for 8 years, but I was watching. And if you think that I'm friends with you now and we're texting and everything's cool and all the rest of it, it's only because I haven't told you that I know what you said and I remember it distinctly and vividly. And there's nothing you can do to stop what's coming to you. Because these people deserve it, dude. I mean, I know we've had a conversation tonight that was a bit rough because out of my disappointment for you because I love you. But you've never done anything wrong to me. Yeah. But there are people who did. And they deserve what's coming to them, and they're going to get it.
All right.
And it is not from a place of hatred. That is from a place of a deep-seated and abiding commitment to truth, beauty, goodness, and justice.
This is the one thing I want to say, Milo. You're incredibly talented, incredibly well-spoken, very likable. You shot to fame. You say that you did work very hard, but you did have a meteoric rise to fame.
I earned it.
Yeah, well, I know. But what I'm saying is, I know that you want to be liked, and you act like you don't want to be liked.
I'm liked,
and you are.
People adore me. The only people who have anything to fear from me are people who work in media and politics, because they're all cunts. But everybody at home adores me.
I know.
I made a fortune on these already.
And Milo, you're going to continue to make a fortune. And I do look at you as a guy that I do want to emulate your college stuff. That's what I'm going to try to do is start speaking at more colleges.
When?
Should be recording.
Well,
You've had years.
Well, I got a tour coming up this.
You've had years.
Well, I've been going. My producer won't come and film me. The first time he filmed me, we actually went really viral.
Well, if they're not
is that right, Jimmy? The first time you came and filmed?
If they're not supporting you, then you need a different team. But
I do need a different team.
You're responsible. I know we joke on whatever, but if you're responsible for, if you're not responsible for the choice of producer, then you need to tear up that contract tomorrow. If you are responsible for the choice of producer, then all of this is on you.
Well, I'm fucked. All right. This has been a great episode, Milo. Where can people find you?
Well, I think it's been a real episode.
It has been real.
And I'm sorry for not giving you advance warning about being a bit cross with you. I am because
I think it's better.
I do adore you, and I have great fondness for you and great respect and appreciation for you. But you are one of the people that you've not wronged me, my love, but you have disappointed me. And I want to see you soar.
Well, I can still fix that, right?
Yes, you can. You can. I can't. Well, I mean, 2 years. That's living in sin for 2 years is a lot. Even
it's okay.
Even in a city. Well, women will say anything. Even in a city of Jehovah's Witnesses, 2 years living in sin is a lot. But look, I want to see you. I'm going to end on a positive note. I sincerely do want to see you soar because. I'll give him something. I'll give him something, even though.
I deserve it, even though
there are now broken pieces of Notre Dame. I'm never going to be able to finish the second spire.
It's done.
The second spire. I was really hoping there'd be a table I could just sort of build it on, but it didn't work. So look, just listen. You have everything you need to realize the promise of all the people that you look up to from 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So go do it. And more than that, we're all here to help you, and we're behind you, and we are supporting you. But you can't do it if you are trapped in something that's not working for you. And you can't do it if the fire is not there for yourself, And you have the ability. I don't know whether you want it. I don't know whether you want it, right?
Yeah.
I think you want it.
I want it. I mean, I want everything. What are you talking about? I mean,
but if
it's funny you say I don't work hard. I travel like every weekend. I grind so hard. I'm traveling to Vegas right after
okay,
the show.
but thrashing around and not moving is not the same thing as progress, you know? Yeah. And you can be treading water furiously and exhausting yourself and not really getting anywhere professionally because you haven't returned the calls of the people who've done it who love you.
I don't know what call it in return for, but
we haven't returned my calls for years.
You haven't called me.
Well, every time we start a conversation like this, it just sort of dies on the vine, and you know that's that. Anyway,
well,
so
you should ask Tony. Tony's a friend of mine. Tony
we're finishing.
That I don't talk. I don't text. I don't do that. I'm not.
We're finishing. Well, okay, excuses, but we're finishing on a positive note, which is to say that I, despite everything, think that you have one of the brightest futures in conservative media, and I very much look forward to seeing you flourish.
God bless America, guys. And that's been our show tonight. We're out of time. We would do a freestyle finale, but Milo is just, we're going to end on a high note. I want you guys all to hit that like button.
What is a freestyle finale?
Well, I guess we'll do it. Hey, DJ, hit that beat. We're doing the finale, guys. Milo sitting in the chair. Milo still a homo. And you know he's about to go, Milo. And he likes a black dick. And he never fucked a chick, but he sits on the chair. Over there, he's walking up the stage full of rage. Milo's got to let go. And you know he's snorting snow. I'm a pimp on a black mission. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. YouTube, please don't suspend us for anything that was said on this podcast. It was all done in satire, and this is for entertainment purposes only. And Laura Loomer, Nick Fuentes, anything we said was all alleged, and please don't sue us. God bless.
All right.
Oh, fuck, it didn't record, right?